Welcome back into another episode of Hefe's World. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. But let's go ahead and get right into it. We're doing the Smackdown review episode. Smackdown kicked off with Solo, Jacob Fatu, and JC coming out to the ring. Solo cut a promo that was eventually cut off by Fatu. And him and Fatu would eventually start going back and forth. This would lead to LA Knight's music eventually hitting. LA Knight would come out. He, as they were facing towards the entrance ramp, thinking he's going to come out that way, he attacks JC from behind, grabs him from in the ring, and brings him out, and beats him down real quick, and then runs away before Jacob and Solo can get to him. And then all these guys get back in the ring and pretty much stare him down as he runs or walks out through the crowd. And then we get backstage. We see Michin. B-Fab comes up and walks up to her. They go back and forth for a little bit, hyping up the Money in the Bank match that Michin is in, the triple threat match. Chelsea Green would walk up and they would start going back and forth. Alexa Bliss, who was the third member in that triple threat match, she would just walk through real quick, say something, and head towards the ring area. And then Michin, B-Fab, Chelsea Green, and the Secret Service would continue to go back and forth with each other. But back into the ring, Alexa Bliss music would hit, and she's making her way down to the ring for that triple threat match. So we are set for a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Alexa Bliss versus Michin versus Chelsea Green. They did also say that all members of the Secret Service and BFAB will not be allowed at ringside. Great triple threat match. The beginning and a lot of this match, Alexa Bliss and Michin teamed up on Chelsea Green. But at the end of the day, Alexa Bliss would win this matchup. Crowd reaction was hot. Crowd is definitely behind Alexa Bliss. And I would love to see her win that Money in the Bank. So she is set. She is the first woman in, and we will see who the rest of the field will look like. Up next, we are right back into the action with Fraxium and DIY. Last week, DIY attacked Fraxium in the backstage area. So now we are set for this matchup. And of course, Fraxium undefeated on SmackDown, and they continue that streak right here in this great matchup. Fraxium wins, and after the match, Motor City attacks DIY. Backstage, we see Ray Phoenix. Andrade walks up. They have a little words with each other. Um, this would lead to Solo, Sokoa, Jacob, and JC walking in to the picture, and they are looking for LA Knight in the backstage area. And then backstage, we see Nia Jax shown warming up for her match. And what's very interesting about this is Naomi. She is shown in the background here. So what is that about? And then backstage, we see the Street Profits with Fraxium, and they are coming from Nick Aldis's office. They tell Fraxium that next week that they are getting their tag team title shot against them. So we have a confirmed match for next week in a tag team title match, Fraxium versus the Street Profits. This should be one hell of a matchup, and I can't wait to talk about that on the preview episode next week. This leads to a one-on-one interview for R-Truth with Wade Barrett. And this leads to R-Truth letting the world know that he will be facing John Cena at Saturday night's main event for that WWE Championship. Back to the ring, Aleister Black makes his way out. While he's in the ring, we get a video package from Damian Priest issuing a challenge to Drew McIntyre for a steel cage match at Saturday night's main event. Back to the ring, we are set to have the Carlito Hayes and I'm sorry, Carmelo Hayes and Aleister Black matchup. Right before this matchup, The Miz and Carmelo Hayes are shown backstage cutting a promo. And then we go ahead and get right into the match. Great back and forth matchup that ends in a disqualification. The Miz would come in and attack Aleister Black. So of course, Aleister Black wins by disqualification. This leads to a quick black mask on The Miz, and Mello lays out Aleister Black after the fact. Backstage, Alexa cuts a promo. Um, and then she cuts herself off as she sees somebody in the backstage area, and she starts walking towards none other than Charlotte Flair. Those two women will go back and forth right outside of Nick Aldis's office. Giulia walks out of Nick Aldis's office, followed by Nick himself, and introduces the newest member to SmackDown. and then brings Charlotte Flair in his office and says, "Let's talk about Money in the Bank." So what's going on with Charlotte with Money in the Bank, and congratulations to Giulia officially becoming a member of Friday Night SmackDown. So can't wait to see what's next for her. After this, Drew is shown walking towards the ring area. His music hits, and Drew makes his way down to the ring. He cuts a promo on Damian Priest and everything, and we are set for that steel cage match at Saturday Night's main event next week. Solo Sikoa with Fatu and JC versus Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix is up next for the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Great back and forth matchup between all three of these guys, but the winner of this matchup, none other than Solo Sikoa. After the match, LA Knight will come back out. He would attack JC and Fatu this time. He grabs the steel chair, gets on top of the announcer's table, pretty much has a stare down with all three men, including Solo this time. This leads to Nick Aldis coming out and booking a match immediately for LA Knight versus JC. This is a great back and forth matchup that JC Mateo eventually would end up winning. And then backstage, we see Santos with Garza. They have a promo about Humberto Carrillo and how he walked out on them last week. And Santos tells Garza to find him, and he has something that he needs to tell them both. Then we are blessed with a video package from Shinsuke on LA Knight and Aleister Black, talking about their Money in the Bank qualifying matchup for next week. Backstage, we see Tiffany Stratton and Jade. They cut a promo towards each other. And in the background, if anybody saw, you see Naomi lurking. So another time, Naomi is shown lurking in the background here. What is this about? We will tune in to find out. And then back to the ring area, we are set for Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton, the women's title match. Throughout this matchup, great back and forth matchup. There's points and times where either one of these women could easily have came out the victor. Towards the end of this matchup, though, Naomi's music would hit, and she would come down to the ring with a steel chair. Right before she would try and get into the ring, however, Jade Cargill's music would hit. She would run down to the top of the ring, and those two women will brawl into the fan area and back into the ring. Now we are set to continue the match between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, which Tiffany Stratton would eventually pick up the victory here, and we are set with our winner and still champion, Tiffany Stratton. I highly doubt this feud is over. I feel like WWE is cooking up a fatal four-way match at some point down the line. Possibly at Money in the Bank, who knows? But I highly doubt any of these women are done with each other, so can't wait to see what's next for these guys. And LA Knight, man, he needs to get some friends. He needs some help because going up against JC, Fatu, and Solo by himself is not going to go over for him well for long. So hopefully he gets some backup here by any means necessary. And next week, hopefully we get some insight on what Santos has prepared for Humberto and Garza as well. And can't wait to see what they got next for us. I'll hit y'all with a preview of that episode and Raw before that as well. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button down below. And just remember, this is Hefe's World, and you're just living in it.